What's up, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about a quick hack that I did for grad school. But before I do that, check this out. I almost ripped my sweatshirt there for a second. I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and an MBA in finance and in accounting, along with CFA and some other things. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to articulate how actually easy it is to get these things. It starts with a mindset of approaching life in that way, with the understanding and self-awareness to realize that things can be challenging. But that doesn't mean that they're difficult. It just means that you haven't experienced that situation before. And when you go into things in that manner, it's really not that hard at all. So two of the hacks that I did actually in grad school, first to get into grad school. So I went to the University of Rochester, which is supposedly a top 25 school in the world for their finance MBA program. And it's definitely not that challenging. It sounds like it's cool, but it's really not that difficult whatsoever. And if you look around at the schools that you want to go to, first of all, trying to get some type of subsidy so that you don't actually have to pay for it, whether that's the school or a company or some type of scholarship or some type of grant or some combination of all of the above to help reduce the cost of those. I was not that prepared, and I was in a completely different spot mentally at that point. Just thought, oh, finished undergrad, I guess that's the next thing to do. So that was in the springtime, and by the fall I had planned for it in advance, but by the fall I was in the University of Rochester for my MBA. But the University of Rochester has something where if you take there's 4 required classes where it's like an accounting class, a math class, a finance class, and maybe a statistics class or something. If you pass those 4 classes with a 3.5 GPA or higher, you don't have to take the GMAT. So I have an MBA from a top school in the world, and I never took the GMAT. So if the more experience I gather just in life with every day that passes by, the more I realize that as far as somebody wants to go down that rabbit hole, it just can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I mean by that is whatever you want to accomplish, whatever that is, right? If you want to live a completely nomadic lifestyle and just travel the world, there's millions and millions and millions of different options to do that. If you want to have $2,500 coming in every single month and stay where you currently are and watch TV and play golf games all day, like, you can do that. It's relatively easy, and if you just put the small amount of effort into making a marginal gain. So when you hear like marginal tax rate or marginal gain, that's just the incremental improvement, right? That marginal improvement. So from going from, say, $1 to $1.01. It's just that tiny, tiny little improvement. And if you take 30 minutes or an hour, if you took like an hour every single day, and you put it towards whatever it is that you were trying to actually accomplish, so if you wanted to work from home, right? And you looked at your burn rate, meaning how much you need to sustain yourself, which is not the same as how much you make. They're 2 different things. So actually go through and calculate those out, and you figure out what your burn rate is. If you took 1 hour per day, 365 days of the year, that's over 9 weeks worth of work you could accomplish just by 1 hour a day. And that's where you can get that marginal gain. Also, if you had a 20 basis point improvement towards that, right, every day, which a 20 basis point improvement, that's not much. Just spending that hour diligently present and engaged in what you're trying to accomplish, right? That objective. Okay, my burn rate is $3,000 per month. What I can use to survive, right? Because you're not gonna have to drive to work anymore. You're not gonna have to necessarily buy the same type of clothes. You're not gonna have to prepare your food in the same way. You're not gonna have to buy gas. You're probably not gonna have as much maintenance in your vehicle. There's probably other things you can cut back on too. So generally, from my experience and the people that I've talked to, their burn rate is significantly lower actually after they quit working. So if you go through and put some actual thought into that and you figure that out, and then you make this 20 basis point improvement every single day, a 20 basis point improvement is just, that's 1/5 of 1%, right? It's a very, very small amount. And you aggregate that throughout the year, that's over 100% improvement. I think I did the math on it one time, it's like 110% roughly improvement. So if you started out making a very small amount, right, in the first month, you started making barely anything, right? 30 days in, you just figured out how to make your first dollar online or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Keep at it, because 12 months later or 18 months later, before you know it, you will have enough to be able to sustain yourself at your burn rate. And then, or before then, you can actually leave your job and focus on that full time. And by full time doesn't mean you have to put in 40 or 50 hours a week. If you want to, then do it. If you want to put in 20 hours a week and 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, like, it's your thing. You do you. Do your life so that you're optimized for happiness and for happiness and fulfillment. Don't worry about the money. Think about the happiness and fulfillment. And you have to be in a different spot mentally, and obviously you have to have your financial house in order to not have that stress above your head, which comes with you taking action, right? So if you have that, whatever your burn rate is, and you have credit cards, right? You have 2 credit cards and you have 2 card payments for yourself and your wife and whatever that case is, and then you have your house and you have your home equity line of credit on top of there, and you know, you're paying off furniture or whatever the case is. Get rid of that, right? One easy way to do that is you could just sell your house. Sell your house, move into a fucking rental, get rid of as much of the debt as you possibly can, and reset. And just get a crazy high savings rate. Anyways, this is turning into more other things, but I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll talk to you soon.